And good evening. Welcome to the Highline Activity Center and another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highline Activity Network live on YouTube. And we're going to get right into it. State wrestling gets started tomorrow, the individual tournament tomorrow and Friday, the team on Saturday. And Aaron Larson, head coach of the Highliners, joining us. An exciting time, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it is an exciting time. The seasons go by fast.
Yeah, hard to believe it's already state tournament time here as we're in the middle part of February, and seedings came out here earlier this week, and Highliners have 5 wrestlers that are seeded, 3 number ones, a 2, and a 6. And let's start off with the number 6, Heisen Hublin, getting a number 6 seed at, I think, 152.
Actually, 160.
Oh, I was off by 1.
But he's a returning state place winner. He placed 7th last year, so he's got an excellent draw, and he's good enough. And our goal, and his goal, is to make a run to the finals.
Do they only seed the top 6?
They only seed the top 6 this year, correct?
I was looking for a 7th and 8th seed, but there isn't such a thing. Then we got a number 2 seed in Tucker Johnson. And what a story Tucker Johnson's been this year. And it seemed like it really got going right before the Starhog invite with Lisbon, that he has really been wrestling outstanding here in the last month.
Yeah, he's been wrestling great. He believes he can do it, and that's half the battle. And Tucker's went over a month without losing a match. So he's really hitting his stride, and we're hoping he can have a great state tournament.
An EDC champ at 132, and it's the first time he's ever placed. What a way to do your first time as a placer.
Yeah, right. You might as well go out on top, right?
Exactly.
Injured last year, and then COVID. We didn't have an EDC tournament in 20, so Tucker's first EDC placement was a championship, so that was cool to see.
And we'll have Tucker Johnson on here in a little bit. Matter of fact, he just entered the room, and we'll talk a little bit of wrestling and some other things with Tucker in just a bit. But back now, we moving up. 3 number ones, Coach, with Broden Muskie at 220, Coy Grebe at 138, and Colton at 113. But he wrestled a lot of 120s this year. But do you have to, when you are seated, do you have to kind of say, okay, this is where I'm going to be at, even though you did a lot of 120s during the season?
Well, whatever weight you qualify at or compete at the EDC tournament is the weight class you have to wrestle at state. So 113 for Colton to get his weight down to 113 takes a lot of discipline. And so he spent some time up at 120, and a lot of times he'd go up to 120 because we're just looking for tougher competition. Colton is getting good enough where, we have a hard time finding him a tough match.
Well, I know at the EDC he won all 3 of his matches by pin, and matter of fact, didn't even see a full period. I think it was a whole, like a minute 37 total that he was on the mat. Is that just his mindset? He's not going to play around. He's just going to go out there and get right after it.
Yeah, he's a hammer. I mean, there's not much else I can say. He's a hammer, and Tucker's over there shaking his head, yes, because him and Colton get to wrestle every day in practice. And Tucker's one of the big reasons why Colton is as good as he is, because Colton only competes against seniors and bigger kids, and his older brother Coy, and iron sharpens iron, and Colton is ready to go.
And now he's just defending state champ. He was state champ at 106 last year, and moving up to 113 this year, and getting that top seed. And Coy, again, number 1 seed as he keeps moving up weight classes at 138 this year. And at the EDC, picked up his 200th career win.
It's a pretty special achievement. There's not a lot of high school wrestlers in the history of North Dakota wrestling that have won 2 matches or 200 matches, so he joins in a pretty elite list of wrestlers from our state.
And also, he was the East Region Wrestler of the Year, or Senior Athlete of the Year in the East Region. So he and Aiden Braun from Jamestown are up for Mr. Wrestler here at the state tournament.
It's pretty exciting. The Coy was EDC Senior Athlete, and Valley City High School hasn't had a Mr. Wrestler since 1990. So we're hoping that Coy can win Class A Mr. Wrestler.
If memory serves, Parker was up his senior year, and I think it was a Steidler, a kid out of Bismarck St. Mary's that got it, but I don't want to bring up bad memories. As I remember,
okay.
I was in the arena that night, and there was a lot of hooting and hollering when that was announced, but that's another story altogether. Let's talk again about Broden Muskie, 220, number 1 seed. And here's another guy that's really been wrestling outstanding, not just recently, but all year long. He's been just Mr. Consistency, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got 40 wins, 40 or 41, I'm not sure, and he's been pretty dominant all season, and was state runner-up last year, so his goal is to be a state champion, and anything less than being a state champion, he'll be disappointed.
7 wrestlers, 12 total going, I think, 7 that have no experience. What is it like here, just these wrestlers, whether they win, lose, or draw, getting experience at a state tournament?
The kids are going to have a little bit of extra nerves because it's state, and I just want them to compete hard and let it rip. I mean, you got to do moves. Like Alex likes to say, do moves. Alex Rogelstad has been wrestling great the last month of the season or month and a half, and Alex's biggest change is he is getting after it and he's letting it rip, and he's not waiting around to find out what the other kids have to offer.
Tyson Clabo did get a chance last year. He did wrestle at state last year, so he'll have a little bit of experience coming in this year as an 8th grader.
Yeah, right. He's had a good season at 120, and he's got a favorable draw in the bracket. So if he could do a couple moves, he can get himself on the podium.
I honestly feel too, Coach, and I think your sentiment is the same. With these 12 wrestlers we have, Valley City has a real good chance of having a large majority of them on the podium at the end of the day on Friday.
Right, and all of our seniors have a good shot to make the podium. And, that's my goal as a coach, to get all our seniors on the podium and also get us 3 champions. So, lofty goals, but, shoot for the stars.
And not being in the dual tournament, yes, you like to get in as a team, but maybe now the guys, they don't have to worry about cutting weight or worrying about something when they get into Saturday. They can just go in there in their individual and have at it and just let it all hang out for 2 days.
So some of our kids like Colton and also Tucker, who are cutting a fair amount of weight, now they don't have to worry about making weight on Saturday. So when Tucker advances to the finals, he can weigh 150 pounds and take advantage of eating good all day.
That extra weight and that extra moves. But final thoughts, Coach. Just getting ready for this for the state tournament. What are your expectations as far as these guys? Really, there are no limitations with what this group can do, is there?
We're hoping to have a great state tournament. Like I said, realistically, we could have 7 state place winners, and if we can come home with 7, and that's kind of our goal, we'll be satisfied.
And just go out there and have fun. Is that something that you and Trevor and the coaches talk about? You just go out there and let it all hang out when you get out there. Is that kind of your message? Just have fun and enjoy the moment.
Right. And one thing about in wrestling, so wrestling's not a lot of fun if you don't get your hand raised at the end of the match. So if you're going to have fun, you need to get your hand raised. So we're hoping over the next 2 days in the Fargo Dome we can get our hand raised a lot.
And lastly, we got 3 young ladies that also got some seed, 2 number 2s and a number 8. Gabby Hanig, who's just really been wrestling phenomenally, East Region champ. She's a number 2 seed. Deegan Kirschman's a number 8 seed, and Miley Christensen is a number 2 seed at 135. She actually got placed last year, was a runner-up last year, so she has a little experience in the state tournament going in. And all of these wrestlers, just to be able to have 5 girls go to the second state tournament for sanction for the girls has got to be a proud thing for the Highliner Wrestling crew.
So first ever East Region girls tournament in the history of girls high school wrestling, and we were fortunate to get 2 champions, Gabby Hanig at 105, just a 7th grader, Miley Christensen at 135, just a freshman. So we got a couple of girls that are still quite young, and they're awful good wrestlers.
Kendra Green, a senior at 155. Brooke Bundy at 190. Victoria Sanchez at 105, I believe, or 110. And she's going to have a tough draw facing one of the Rahu girls from Bismarck High. But just these wrestlers, again, the same thing with the experience that they're going to have at a state tournament.
So Victoria joined wrestling about a month ago, and she was able to place 7th at the East Region tournament, winning 2 matches and losing 2. So that's pretty impressive that you can join a sport and a month later you can qualify for the state tournament. So we're pretty proud of Victoria.
And hopefully get. I have a feeling you'll have some hands raised and some young ladies on the podium too by the end of things on Friday, because they'll go concurrently with the boys tournament, correct, on Thursday and Friday.
So at the Fargo Dome, there's 12 mats set up. So there's going to be more mats than we've ever had. So they're going to wrestle Class A on boys on 4, Class B boys on 4, and all of North Dakota girls on 4. So It's going to be a lot of wrestling happening at the Fargo Dome.
So if you're a fan of wrestling, you want to get to the Fargo Dome because it's an atmosphere, isn't it? That state wrestling at the Fargo Dome, it is an atmosphere.
It is. It's awesome.
It's a great atmosphere, and hopefully we'll have next week when we have Coach's Corner, we'll have quite a few people joining us as either state champs or placers at the state wrestling tournament. But Aaron, again, continued success. Good luck to you and the Highlander Wrestling crew this week, and I appreciate you stopping in.
Yep, thank you, Paul.
You bet. Coach Aaron Larson from the Highlander Wrestlers. We'll be back with more of Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, and we're moving into our speech here. We've got a couple of members of the Valley City Highlanders speech team. Gabe Herzog joining us, along with Mealy Mister. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah. Fun experience.
Well, this is your first time for you now.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen you on Highlander News, so I know you're not foreign to being in front of the camera. So you'll be all right. I think you can give us a chance to talk, Gabe. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start with you, Gabe, and let's tell folks the events and speech that you have qualified for state.
Well, this year I've qualified in EPR, storytelling, entertain, and humorous duo.
Any one of those that you like better?
Well, recently, this was my first time doing EPR when I qualified for it. It's very interesting, but I think my favorite's entertain because it's much more low pressure as compared to the other ones. It's just, you have your script that you've written yourself, so you know it very well.
Okay.
And you just get to go up there and read from it.
Extemporaneous reading, is that what EPR is? What is?
Yeah. So how that works is an hour prior to performing it, you get a script. You have to cut it down and put it on some black paper, and then you read it.
Okay. So that's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Is it a little pressure, though, getting it put together after you get your hour, that hour? Is it a little pressure-packed?
Yeah, the hour is a little shorter than you might think. You have to, especially if it's a long piece that you're cutting down, you have to cut it down to 7 minutes. And make sure you all paste it down on the paper, make sure it's in order and everything. And you'd think you would have time to practice it, but
but no.
Sometimes you can only run through it once or not even at all, and you just have to cross your fingers and hope it's in time.
Okay. Amelia, let's talk about what are you? You've qualified in several events, too. What do you got?
I've qualified in Inform, Persuade, Storytelling, and Humorous Duo.
How about you? What's where's your fave?
My favorite is Inform. It's kind of a boring event to watch, to be honest, but speaking it is really fun, and I always make my Inform somewhat entertaining for the audience, just because they're sitting there listening to facts spit out at them, and so I feel like they need a break. So I really enjoy it, and people seem to laugh at it, which is, it's kind of fun.
Can it be humorous? I mean,
yeah, as long as you have like the facts that you need and a serious topic to talk about, you can put in some humor as long as it's not taking away from anything else, which is kind of like where I have to draw the line is figuring out where is it too much humor, where is it just enough where people kind of, are more relaxed and engaged into what I'm saying.
Now, I know all three of you, too, also in theater as well as doing speech. So I'll ask you this first, Gabe. Which do you like better, doing the speech or doing theater? How about that?
Well, I joined speech first. I first joined speech my sophomore year, and the following year, my junior year, that was my first time in theater doing the musical, and so that was a big jump from just speaking in front of people to singing and dancing
And learning lines. And
yeah, a lot more to learn there than in speech. I mean, you do have some memorized bits, but in theater, it's a lot more high pressure. Even though you're not being actively judged, just learning all those lines and everything. But I think I prefer speech just because, I don't know, there's more variety to it. And it's more long-term than just the one production.
And I know you and I have already talked about this at length, Amelia, with our conversation yesterday. But for you, where is it at with you? I probably know, but what would it be for you?
I enjoy theater more. I really do enjoy speech, and I like the length of the speech season better just because you get more time to improve. But I don't know, there's something about doing theater and getting like those 3 performances in front of a large audience, and like nobody that I know goes to watch me speak besides the judge and my like fellow teammates. But with theater, you're just in front of like a bunch of people your family, your friends, people from your school, and it's just really fun. I enjoy theater a lot.
And I know you mentioned this, and I'll kind of say what she said, Gabe, and you can reiterate. Is she likes being lost in the part? You're not yourself. Is that something too you think about? you don't have to. It's not awkward because you're playing a part. You're not playing Gabe Herzog. You're someone else.
Yeah, I think it's a little easier to get lost in it in theater as opposed to speech, but I don't know. There have been like one event in speech that I've been thrown into, just like Phil Spots have been serious duo. And I was better at it than I thought I would, and I don't know. It's similar to theater where I get to get into the role of the characters, and it's kind of fun to get to be all dramatic.
Okay. One final question for you guys too. Now, what's coming up? I know there's more meets before we get into the state, and so are you trying to hope to qualify in more events that you're not in, or what's on the horizon? We'll start with you, Gabe.
Well, I'm probably going to. I mean, I'm already qualified in the events that I'm probably going to go to state for. I'm still yet to figure out exactly what events I want to choose. I believe it's you can only go for 2 events.
Okay.
So probably one of the 4 that I'm already qualified in, but I mean, I just want to do my best in the. I don't want to like sit my laurels.
Yeah.
I want to do my best throughout the rest of the season.
How about you, Amelia?
With me, I won't be trying to qualify in any other events or probably attempting any other events unless I'm just thrown into it because I do a lot of filler spots like Gabe was talking about. If like somebody's missing a duo partner, I'll just do the duo the day of. And but otherwise, I am content with the 4 I have qualified, and I only know for sure I'll probably be doing Inform at state. And with my Inform, my like complete goal is to nationally qualify with that. This past year, I didn't nationally qualify, but I ended up going in World Schools Debate, which is like a team debate. And I think I would much rather do my Inform than a team debate. So.
And you probably want to do Entertain, I'm going to guess.
I mean,
Maybe.
I would like that.
We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, again, I appreciate you stopping in. Good luck here. You got to meet this weekend, don't you?
Yep.
On Saturday. Where are you headed?
I think it's Fargo South.
Fargo South,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay. All right. Well, again, appreciate you. Continued success, and we will chat with you when you get nationally, win at state and get national qualifier then.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Gabe Herzog and Amelia Muster, part of the speech team. We'll talk to another member of the speech team. We may talk a little wrestling, too, with him as Tucker Johnson is standing in the wings. We'll come back with more at Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here at Coach's Corner here on the Highland Activity Network, and we just got done talking with a couple of his speech teammates, and now Tucker Johnson joining us. And before we get into the wrestling, Tucker, we'll talk speech. A couple weeks ago, you had your first meet of the year because with wrestling conflicts, and so you could, and you qualified for state right off the get-go. Was it duo? Was it a? What did you qualify in again?
I qualified in 3 of my events.
Okay.
So I qualified in serious duo, humorous duo, and storytelling. And Gabe actually was my humorous duo partner. So
Did you get a chance to work with him a little bit beforehand?
The night before we put the piece together and just kind of ran through it, cut it, made sure it was in time, and just got the character work going. And a little bit rushed, but it was still good. So yeah.
Are you going to be able to make Fargo South this weekend?
I'm not gonna go to Fargo South this weekend just because I was state. Just gonna take a little bit of a break.
Take a little time off. Yeah.
Be back the next weekend.
And you still have plenty more events, meets here for speech before you are worrying about state. So you get in there. Are there? You've already you said 3 that you've qualified for.
Yep.
So you looking to maybe get another 1 or 2?
I'm thinking I also haven't entertained, but I'm just gonna try it and go in that. But as of now, those are my main events are those 3. But I'll see how it goes. But I'll probably keep doing those 3 at entertain, and I'm not for sure if I'll do anything else, but we'll see.
I don't know if I asked you this when you were here the last time when you came on. You were talking more wrestling that night, but what got you into speech and got doing on the speech team?
You know, I'm not really for sure. I think I just saw it when I came in 7th grade. I think I was on. I got moved to student congress, and then from there they said you should go to speech too. So then I went into speech and just started going in 7th grade and haven't stopped since. So.
And like this year, having to qualifying for state in your very first meet, is it just like riding a bike? You hadn't been doing it all year, but you got back into the groove and it was easy to do?
Yeah, it was also a smaller tournament, but it's the more practice and the more meets since I've had so many meets. It's I like riding a bicycle, just getting back into it and just really giving your energy and making sure to put out your confidence, to show it confidently, and the confidence and energy is just what you need when you public speak. So
and when you wrestle too.
Exactly.
And we're going to do a reversal here. Pardon the expression. And we're going to talk a little wrestling now. Congratulations, EDC champ. And first time you've ever placed at the EDC, and you're on the top of the podium. So how does that feel?
Yes, it feels great. It's very interesting to think about that. This is my first EDC tournament because my first year going to state, it was the COVID year, and then last year I broke my hand, and then this year is my first EDC. So just putting in the hard work and. Yeah, so it's nice.
Number 2 seed at 132 here for the state tournament this weekend. You really have been saved your best wrestling for at the end of the year. Has things changed? Have you been a little more focused? What has really gotten you into the groove here?
Just looking back at my film and talking with my teammates and my coaches and figuring out what I need to do, lowering my stance, getting more not defensive, getting more offensive, not waiting to see what the other guy does, wrestling to win rather than just wrestling to just stay, really pulling the trigger and being confident in my moves and mentally knowing what I need to do and just figuring out what I need to do and just going in the moment and just looking back, I look back at my film and I think, oh, that's what I need to do there. I need to get a reshot or I need to lower my stance and just figuring that stuff out and being confident, just like we were talking about.
And I suppose going against someone like Colton Griebel in the wrestling room every once in a while, that helps you, right?
Oh yes, my practice partners is the main reason why I'm so good. I have the best kids in the state to wrestle with and to practice with, and all of my teammates, and it's all. It was a really great family, and just being able to wrestle with some of the best people, and just learning the technique and working hard, and just going from there. And all we can do is do our moves, work hard, and get it done.
Final question for you now. What are your thoughts going into the state tournament? What do you want to accomplish here in the next couple of days?
Going into the state tournament, I just want to put it all out there, do my stuff, do my moves, do my shots, do my offense, and my goal is to get to the state finals.
That's a pretty good goal. Mm-hmm. And your confidence, you feel you've done the work, you put in the work, and you're ready to make that step.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens here over the next couple of days. Like I said, maybe next week we will have you on next week talking about being a state placer in in your first state tournament that you can get out there and do your thing. So again, Tucker, congratulations on a great year so far and continued success, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
You bet. That is Tucker Johnson, again, number 2 seeded wrestler, 132 for the Highliners at the state tournament coming up this weekend. Back with more Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highlight Activity Network. Activity Network, Coach's Corner, live on YouTube. And just a quick reminder, next week, we're going to be on a Thursday night next week for Coach's Corner, because I do have other jobs other than this, and that one I'm going to be at a school board meeting, so I'll have to move to a Thursday night, and so wish me luck on that one. But anyway, that's next week. But now we're talking girls basketball. Coach Jimmy Howard joining us from the Highliners. Coach, how's it going?
Good.
Glad you didn't have to travel last night?
Yes. It was nice to have them here. I want to say the third time in 9 years they've come here to play us, so it was nice to have them here.
They get to travel on a Tuesday night instead of you. And, talk about last night's game, Jimmy. This is a team that at one time was number 1 in the state. They're now number 3. They've only lost once. You guys played this team toe-to-toe.
Yeah, and credit to the girls. Sam getting hurt, rolling her ankle in warm-ups. She's out. Drew's still coming back from her injury and thrusting some kids into places that they haven't been. And handling pressure has been a hard thing for us all year. And we still had more turnovers than we wanted, but we really handled the press while the girls executed. And, you'd think if you're in a game with Red River, number 3 team in the state as well, like you're hitting a bunch of threes, but we really just owned the paint and controlled that, and the girls are just resilient all night.
Well, we've talked at length this year about these lulls where you go into scoring droughts. It happened last night, but you were able to get out of it. One in particular was in the second half. I think down 16 at one point and went on a nice run and got it back within 7.
Yeah, we had all the excuses we could have had for just packing it in, players out or we're not making baskets. And several times, they got it to 16. We brought it back to 7. I think they had it up to like 14. We brought it back to like 6. And we just kept bringing it back. We couldn't quite get over the hump, but, they never quit. They kept going. And I think we frustrated them a little bit with some of the stuff we were doing defensively. And then frustrate them because they weren't getting the turnovers I think they were expecting to get. And we just kept executing. And girls coming off the bench and girls in spots they haven't played and not getting subs when they normally do just because of injuries and stuff like that. And they just kept finding it all night. And I'm so really proud of how the girls played last night.
And I think 11 of 13 at the free throw line or something like that. That's got to be one of the best free throw nights you've had in a while.
At Davies, we were 100%, so
okay.
Can't get any better than that. But yeah, it was a good night from the free throw line as well.
We talk about Brooke and Carly. They get their numbers, they get their stuff, but a lot of the role players and how important they are. And Faith Peterson last night, of course, on the senior night, got a chance to get in that starting line. But she seems to be one of those ball hawks that she finds the loose ball and gets a lot of loose rebounds.
Yeah, if I could clone her and put her on every team, I would. Someone that just comes and works every single day. You're going to get her best every single day. Physical. She's probably our most physical player. Strong. She rebounds. She's always around the loose ball. She has a nose for those loose balls. And last night I felt for her because she's pretty good at cutting and getting those shots next to the hoop. And last night she just couldn't buy one with that. But, she's been great in our program. Senior night, second time she started here for us this year, but an opportunity to do it at home. She's kind of a glue player, and why she's been voted a captain. She's not a starter. She just does everything we need her to do, and the kids recognize that in her leadership and her work ethic, and that's why she's one of our captains. So her having a big night on the defensive side and rebounding. Tessa Olson had a great night handling the pressure with the ball, not forcing shots. I know scoring, she would have liked to score more, but her passing and just not forcing stuff and just continuing to try to make the right play and set up our team in the right position to score was just essential last night.
I was going to mention the passing. You had a lot of assists. I think 14, 15 assists out of 20-some baskets. But, I mean, you've got to be pleased with the way this team distributes the basketball.
Yeah, early in the season we weren't getting a lot of assists, and we've started to grow in that. Brooke really she's come along with, I'm starting to be double teamed, and she's finding those cutters. Kids have started cutting because they know they're going to get the ball, and so she's really added that to her game as well. Tessa's always been a pretty good passer, and so she's setting other people up as well. But yeah, I just, 14, 15 assists. Greta Govan had a few. Dakota Potrot's off the bench, getting some playing time, big playing time. She had a bunch of plays she made too for easy baskets, and I just loved how they were looking for that back door, and we just kept hitting it and getting baskets. So.
And sometimes we weren't hitting.
Sometimes we weren't hitting.
They were there, but it was the lid was on that darn thing again. And you talk about Dakota. How big is it for her maturation as a varsity player to be on the floor when you still are placing the other team's starting lineup?
It's good experience, and they've been up in, the freshmen haven't had that experience as much this year in those situations. So wasn't sure what to expect. Knew that she could handle the ball a little bit, and knew that her length would help us defensively. And I think it does wonders for her confidence, and not knowing how long Sam might be out. Some of those kids might have to start becoming some rotational players for us. And so her gaining that confidence last night, heading into our final two games, and then our playoff game is huge for us to add another player, and hopefully we can add a couple more.
First game of this stretch run, West Fargo Horace, one of those ones that got away. Matter of fact, these last two games are ones that just got away here at home. Your thoughts with the Hawks here coming up on Friday night?
Young team, but really skilled. They got two guards, sisters, really good players. They like to shoot the three. They'll pressure you. Their post players really tough inside. We're going to have to be physical. We're going to have to take care of the ball. But, last night we showed when we do take care of it, we can really execute and get high percentage shots. And so if we can do that, we're going to worry about ourselves, and then hopefully contain a couple of their players, not let them get hot, and we'll see what happens.
Of course, that carrot's still dangling.
Yep.
That we've talked about every week, and a couple of wins, and we get that number 8. But first things first, if you don't win Friday, it doesn't matter what happens on Tuesday. But is that something you are telling them? Is that in your conversations?
Yeah, we're really transparent about what our goal was from the beginning of the season, and so we're really transparent as far as where we've set ourselves up, in some games that we wish we could get back, and how they've hurt us. But it's good for them to know what's on the line, because if we're going to start playing pressure basketball now, then we're ready when playoffs start. We've already been playing pressure situations. So just adding that little bit of pressure and getting used to it over the next couple games here, I think will just benefit us heading into the playoffs.
All right. Well, Coach, again, appreciate you stopping in. And you got Horace here Friday night, at Shanley on Tuesday, and hopefully next week we're talking a home game on Saturday the 25th. But first things first, Horace on Friday night.
Yeah, I would love to have that home game, but wherever we go, we're going to be ready to go. So.
And you are playing, really, you've been playing some great basketball over here. Wins or losses, regardless, you've been playing some great ball recently.
Yeah, minus a couple games in there. Yeah, the girls have really come together. They're playing for each other, and I'm really proud of where we're at this moment.
All right, well, Coach, again, thanks, and good luck here on Friday.
Thanks, and go Highlanders.
Coach Jimmy Howard from the Highlander girls basketball, back with the boys basketball. A couple of the seniors coming up here as Coach's Corner continues on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on the Highlander Activity Network, and now we head into the boys basketball, and we've got a couple of the 6 seniors from the boys basketball team joining us here this evening. Will Eggert and Ari Bracherud joining us, and I guess first question this is for both of you, and I'll start with you, Will. Playing your last home game as a Highlander last night, just your thoughts going into last night's game.
It's just
It was a tough thing, isn't it? You know, playing your last game, and yeah, you want to come away with a win, but as a senior, you're done here at home.
Yeah, it was a tough game. We came out kind of slow, and we kind of did a lot better in the second half, kind of tried to get back into it a little bit. Still came short, but kind of did our best, or played a lot better in the second half. But
Absolutely played very good in the second half, because that's a very good basketball team with Red River, so it's no slouch there. Ari, your thoughts, too, in playing that final game here at the Hack?
Well, I thought Horace on Friday was our final game, but
I forgot. Yeah, we got a game Friday night. I'm sorry, you guys are right, but last night was senior night. Sorry about that, but yeah.
Well, first time they didn't have a number 21 when we played them, so we weren't really expecting for that, and so on senior night for them to come out and just punch us in the mouth right away kind of hurt, but it was nice to battle back that second half and after that little stun at the beginning.
When you look at yourself, Ari, and you don't get a lot of scoring, but you just feel your job in there is to maybe contest those shots and make the other post player a little frustrated.
Yeah, I was definitely getting in number 5's head last night. That's just one thing I've been focusing on this year is when I'm not able to get anything going on offense, make sure I'm giving it all on defense and not to let them get anything going on me.
And you face some pretty good post players. The EDC has got a lot of good post players, so you see a lot of the good ones. And setting picks, I don't know if it's been a couple last year or this year, but I know you set a pick, and I think it was a West Fargo kid hit you and you just hit the floor, and you kind of look at him like, are you okay there down there? But just seriously, you look inside and your play inside. All right, have you feel you've improved as a ball player here over the last couple of years?
Oh, definitely. Especially this summer, I feel like I've finally gotten a baby hook on. Before I just usually get a drop step and hope I don't get blocked. This year I'm finally using the middle more, and I feel a lot better about my post game.
Well, how about you? Do you just feel your game really has improved here over the last couple of years?
I feel like I've gotten a lot better. I don't always do much on offense, but I'm just going out there trying to play the best defense and work as hard as I can. But
you like the three? Because would you say that's kind of your game, the perimeter game?
yeah, I would say that, yeah.
And I know I've seen a couple of on breaks, good passing too. Do you take pride in them, maybe finding that open guy if you can?
I wouldn't say I'm always trying to just get a bucket. I wouldn't say I'm selfish or anything.
Right.
I'm just trying to get a good pass to someone for them to score. But
well, now you mentioned I forgot West Fargo Horace is your last home coming up here on Friday night. 1 point game in Horace. You guys dropped that one, so I'll ask you first. All right, just your thoughts getting ready for the Hawks here on Friday night.
It's not a winnable game. It's a must-win game for us, and we got to go out there, and that's our last home game. We got to go and punch them in the mouth right away like Red River did to us, and we play with some pride is what we got to go out there and do.
And Will, get that first EDC win here at home, and for Coach Terry, how big would that be for you guys?
Be a big win. We're gonna have the home court advantage. We're just going into it thinking that we're gonna win it. So I think we're ready for it.
Is in the confidence level, you guys have actually been playing some pretty good ball. Yes, the scores may not be indicative of that, but would you say, Will, just as a team, you guys know that if you put in the work, you're going to get this one?
Yep, I think we're gonna be able to get this one on Friday, and we're working to play our best basketball towards the end of the season here. Just getting better every day at practice, working as hard as we can.
And then maybe, you never know, make some noise when you get into that EDC. You never know what's going to happen when you get into the postseason, and we'll see what happens with that. But, guys, appreciate you stopping by and joining us here tonight. Continued success. We got a couple more, at least 3 more games. Let's have more than that, but at least 3 more games left in your careers as Highliners. And one final question. And this is a tough one, but I think you can feel it. Being your senior, do you have a fond memory? I'll start with you, Will. Just something you looking back, something that is going to stand out at your career as a Highliner?
I would say just getting better every day at practice with my teammates and just going through the school day, kind of looking forward to practice, or sometimes not, but looking forward to practice and just being with my buddies and getting better every day.
And enjoy the moment, right, guys? That's kind of the thing. Is that what you'd say too, Ari? Just kind of enjoy it?
Yeah. Every time I pass out to Robert and he makes a corner 3, it makes me think of all the 6 years I've been playing with him, and he goes and does that, and all the things we've done in the summer, going to Crystal Springs and Spearfish and all that, and it's just so fun to get to play with these guys for the last 6 years, and I've been playing with Will last 8 years even, and it's just so nice to be able to go out on the court every day with the same guys that want to win and play hard.
Well, let's get a W then on your last time on the Hack 4 then on Friday night. How about that? All right, guys, Will Eggert, Ari Brotrud joining us. 2 of the seniors from the Valley City Highlanders. We'll be back and wrap things up here from the Hack. It is Coach's Corner from the Highlander Activity Center. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, wrapping things up for this Wednesday night. Again, programming reminder, next week we will be on Thursday night instead of Wednesday night. We'll be next Thursday, the 23rd of February. That'll be Thursday night, 6 o'clock here at the Hack. And that will be just the 1 week next week that will be on Thursday night here for Coach's Corner. And again, coming up, as we just mentioned with the 2 gentlemen here, the last game here at the Hack this year on Friday night as they take on the Horace Hawks. And the C Squad will go 4:15, Junior Varsity 5:45. And then the varsity around 7:15 on Friday night. And again, when these 2 teams played in West Fargo early this year, it was a 1-point game. And so this should be a great one here on Friday night. The last game for the seniors here at the Hack. And it'll be a great way to pick up a W here in their last game at home and their first EDC win. Again, that'll be here on the Highlander Activity Network, 4:15 C Squad, 5:45 JV, and then the varsity at 7:15 on Friday night. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Coach's Corner. Again, to find us, just go to YouTube and search Valley City Highlander Activities or the Highlander Activity Network. You can find us on YouTube, and you can watch this show and the sporting events live, or, of course, they're all archived there, and you can go ahead and watch them archive. And before I go, I do want to do a shout-out to the Valley City Special Olympics on Friday night. Had a big 42-27 win against Grand Forks, and if you want to go back and watch that great game, just go to the YouTube and, again, Valley City Highlander Activities and watch it again. wonderful announcing by Josh Johnson, Brooke Egermont, and Carly Gobin. So you're going to have to watch that one. But again, a big shout out to Coach Susie Lloyd and the Highlanders Special Olympics team for that win on Friday night. Well, our thanks here again to all of our guests joining us here on Coach's Corner: Aaron Larson and Amelia Meester, Gabe Herzog, Tucker Johnson, Jimmy Howard, and Will Eggert, and Ari Bratrud joining us here on Coach's Corner. And again, to you, our viewers, and of course our sponsors that help us out each and every week: Essentia Health and the Valley City Booster Club. For my cameraman and technical director, Jaden Johnson, tonight, Paul McDonald saying thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Thursday, 6 o'clock, Coach's Corner, here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network.